living has made business, but guess what? She'll always wear this positive face. Why?
Sure. Actually, I live life at a time, and every situation coming my way, I always try to turn it as positive as I can. Even if something was meant to bring me down, I try looking for ways to make it better.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I don't complain.
I wish it was easy. I wish it really was easy, and especially when you find that women are finding it in the space of business. And so this morning we are here to talk, briefly about your story for those that do not know you, but most importantly, the question of business. First of all, it has gotten to a point where we say that there's really not much in the space of employment. And therefore, people have been called upon to be creative, to go out of their comfort zones and to set up businesses. But a majority will tell you it's not an easy thing. Let's perhaps start from that aspect of understanding. What does it take to set up your own business in the country?
I'll say, Linda, number one, it's not easy, but I always say, like I said last time, where there is a will, there's always a way.
Right.
And another thing I always keep telling people, self-belief is another very important thing for you to make it in business. Because businesses are not easy, but it all turns out the way you plan it in your mind and the way you're planning to do it. Because starting a business, you may not wake up today and decide I want to start a business. It is something you have sat down, give a thorough of it. Maybe you have done some research on the same and decide this is the time to start. And sometimes people just start like a joke. But as time goes by, you see, this is what I was called to do, or I can do it better. So I want to encourage people who want to start business, or people who are in business, do not give up so easily. I see some people, you start a business today, a month is not over and you're already giving up. It is every day when you wake up, ask yourself, what can I do to make it better than the way it is today? What are these challenges that I'm facing every now and then? And how do I tackle them? How do I mitigate all these business risks? And from there, take it and be passionate about it, and you will make it. It's not a very, very big thing, and it is not very easy. So it is boiled down to you as a person.
All right, the practicability of it, that today, I think, well, I could easily get into the car hire space, and perhaps I have 2, 3, 4 vehicles that I already signed in and all that. What goes into the practical aspect of starting this business, including the processes of a registration? Because many argue that there's been a lot of frustration in this space in terms of the registration process, getting the permits and all that.
Sometimes I tell people, do not complicate things so much for yourself. It's easy. And sometimes people start and these things comes. But I always advise someone, if you're starting a business, when you're doing research, it is important to know what is required or what is needed of me. So that I don't start a business today, then tomorrow I'm told you're doing the wrong things, or the city council are over me, or the county council, or the KRA are over me, everybody else is over me. So at least getting that knowledge before you start, it is very, very key. And also another thing, sometimes you may not have all those legal formalities. You may not have the muscle to do all this legal formality needed for you to start a business. Sometimes you start, and as you start, every day, work towards that. Maybe you need that 29,000 to pay, or you need that 30,000, whatever. As you start, you continue doing it slowly by slowly. But when somebody comes, tells you, do not start until you do this and this and this. But now I'm talking as from the Juakali person level, where I will just come and start selling my things here, and then I pay city council after, or the county council after. So do not try to complicate things so much for yourself because of the legal formalities and all that, to a point you will never start your business. Start, and then saa zingine tunasema kama mbaya. You start and let everything unfold as you are continuing. That's what I encourage people to do. So do not just sit back and say, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do that. No. The little you have, start and move on.
Sometimes we make lots of mistakes, and they cost us. Mistakes that would get someone saying, nilianza, this is what happened, I'm not going back to that again. Mistakes that would say get people saying, well, I picked lessons from it and I pick up the pieces, let me try and see whether I can try the same thing again, or better yet, find myself into another space. Some of these major mistakes that we do, while we say that, take it easy, go into it, try, start, and then figure out, sometimes it's important to also do your research, to do your assignment well, to understand what you're getting yourself into. So that, even when you make mistakes, you'll say, well, these were not mistakes that were made out of ignorance, but these were mistakes that were made because it happened. Yes, it came along. So in such a case, how do you prepare? How do you make sure that it's fine? Mistakes would happen, but then you're able to bounce back, because I'm sure starting up, Brightsteps as well as other entities that you're running, you must have at some point felt like, what, there's a mistake, perhaps I need to rethink and all that.
Let me tell you something, Linda. As long as you live, mistakes will always happen.
Yeah.
And what I tell people, let a mistake that happens be your learning point.
Yes.
The mistake that I did last year or I did last month, it should be a learning process.
Right.
And I made that mistake. And maybe people who give up so easily, maybe something happened and you felt like, oh, I cannot continue. But what I would want to tell any entrepreneur today, a mistake that happened, first of all, you do your research and see, this is the business that I want to do. And when you're doing it, maybe you discover what I was expecting is not like this. But then you ask yourself, is this project viable? Can I do it? What am I doing wrong? What can I do right to make it work for me? And once you realize that I made this mistake, next time I will not repeat the same mistake. Because I tell people, a mistake, that's why it's called a mistake. It happened, I never expected it to happen. But what can I do better to make sure this mistake doesn't happen again? For example, you just mentioned car hire. When you start a car hire, maybe I talk about it more because I'm in car hire.
Yes.
But what I'm saying today is, when I started, I did a lot of mistakes, especially the first year. You find maybe when I was vetting the customer who is taking my car, I would have done this and this, which I didn't do.
Okay.
It ended up costing me a lot. But will this happen next month? Will it happen next time? So through this mistake, I'm able to seal that and say, next time, this will not happen. So I tighten my grips. I come up with better controls of how to run this to avoid the previous mistake. And I'm sure if I seal this mistake, it will give me better chances of doing better.
Right.
Kwa hivyo, it's not that the business is bad. It is because of the risks and the mistakes involved. But if I'm able to know how to mitigate these risks, how to prevent this mistake happening again, it makes me better. The way I was when I started, it's not the way I am today. And maybe something small happening, I'm like, hey, hiyo ilinipitaje? How did it pass me?
Right.
But then it enlightens me, because next time it will not happen again.
Okay.
So in any business, not only car hire, other business, like me, I told you the other time, in my wholesale shop, there's a time I woke up and like half of my stock was stolen, my CCTV, everything was gone. But I'm like, I sit down, say, Wangechi now, where do I start? Am I going to close the business? I cannot, because the business is good. It is that risk that happened.
Okay.
And the biggest mistake I had made, number one, I had not insured my business. Number two, I had not reinforced my security.
Right.
So from there, I say, I'm going back. But then I reinforce my security. I insure my businesses. Where I had kept my DVR my DVR for my CCTV. I cannot keep it here. I need to keep it a place safer than this. So you see, this mistake, this risk makes you a better person. But now the problem comes if now you give up. And that's why we say entrepreneurs are risk takers. Right. You take a risk, but then you know, after it happens, how will I do this? And the ones which I can see forward, I know how to prevent them from happening.
And I'm glad that you bring this.
We are not giving up anytime soon.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really, the spirit that we all want. So you talk about insurance, you talk about security. I would want to add the legal aspect and perspectives of, the business. Because, I mean, as the business grows, you really want to have the business lawyer, you want to have, legal understanding of some of the problems that would arise and how you would handle them. Just how important is this? Because most of the people will tell you, well, we don't see the essence of insuring. Why should I insure anyway? Because it feels like, well, it's a safe neighborhood and therefore I don't expect
people think that until it happens to you.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I used to think. But then from there, you also realize there are other things that happens in your business. And as you grow, you need these people with you.
Okay.
For example, I have a legal team. And the reason why I have them, I don't know, I'm not a monopoly of ideas. I need these people. That's why we have a lawyer, that's why we have a marketer, that we have all these kind of people. And me as an entrepreneur, I want these people to surround me because they are the ones who tell me, for example, maybe I have an issue with the insurance. Maybe they've refused to pay me. Where do I start? I forward that to my legal team, handle this. Sometimes they also tell me, Wangechi, you cannot do this and this. You need to do this and this. That's why I also have a marketer who knows how will we get to this market. Maybe we want to venture to a different, maybe for example, Kahaya to Seme, we deal with self-drive.
Okay.
And then we want to get to corporate. It is this marketer to go inside and see, we need to do this and this and this. So you need, or that's why we have different departments in any business. But when you are starting small, you may not need all this. But as you grow, that's the time you find, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need that. And that's why consultants are very important in a business.
Okay.
And I'm a tax consultant.
Okay.
So in matters to do with KRA, I do advise people. I have an audit firm, Wangechi Warui and Company, and mostly I deal with tax advisory services.
Yeah.
And you need these people because, Linda, as long as you're starting a business and you don't do things right like we said, it will give you a lot of problems. Another person came to me telling me, Wangechi, I want to close this business. I'm asked to pay all this amount of money. And I'm like, you cannot, is business good? Yes. You cannot give us because of this mistake. You can't give up. Let's sit down and see how you can do it better. So long as you're an entrepreneur, keep these people around you.
Okay, so this one is a random one because many have been struggling with the same. They say they want to set up a business, and so sometimes you're told the processes of, the taxpayer KRA, like you have rightfully put it, the processes of getting the permit and getting the license and all that. And so you get into eCitizen and do the registration. Sometimes you set up the registration and it clearly indicates that the business is in existence. But then again, perhaps you've not started making money, or perhaps really it's not doing well, or maybe it's not even in operation just yet in as much as it's approved. How do you handle such cases, and especially when it comes to the question of filing taxes?
Actually, what I would want to request you, Linda, I will request for another forum where we'll just talk about taxes. Great. Because this is an area which I've realized people don't know much about. Fortunately, there's another interview that I did on, not here, in another station. We were talking about taxes, and I'm telling you the inquiries are overwhelming. Reason being, people don't know how to go about it. And that's why I was talking about having a consultant around. Some people don't even know tax consultant exists. So when you start a business and the moment you register it, we also help people in registration of businesses. The moment you register a business, whether you are running it or not, you must file your returns. Whether you have an income or not, there is something we call nil returns, where you will have to file your nil returns. Whether you operated the business, whether you did not. I registered the business, I have the name here. I've not started operations yet. But then doesn't mean because I'm not running my business, I have the PIN, I just keep it aside. No, you have to file new returns, showing that no transactions happened, but this is my business. So there is no tax to be paid. So you file new return. That is very, very important. And as long as you have a KRA PIN, it has an obligation. And I've realized some people are coming to me. You registered your PIN at Cyber Cafe. And after registering it, you find that they did put some obligations which you are not even aware of. You have been, they did put for you maybe pay as you earn obligation. Only to realize later that I was supposed to be filing returns every month. And you as a taxpayer didn't know. So how do you go about it? And that's why I'm saying I think we need to let people outside there know. Not only even entrepreneurs, but anybody who has a PIN, you must file new returns if you're not operating.
In the event that you do not?
it attracts penalties.
Okay.
For example,
whether it was on...
for example, for pay as you earn, it is 10,000.
Oh.
Failure to file new returns, 10,000.
Wow, there you go.
Every month.
And you've heard that. I realize that you're so huge in advertisement, in, you know, making it known that there's a car hire service company that exists by the name Brightsteps, that, you know, there's Wangechi Warui advocate, you said it's
Wangechi Warui and company.
Audit firm and all that. Just how important is this in any business, if at all it has to grow? Because some people would say, well, I am in town, I am at a strategic place, so I really do not need to make noise about it.
Linda, without marketing, nobody will know you. Visibility ni kitu ya maana sana. If I started Kahaya and sat down waiting for walk-ins to come in, how would they know about me? How will people know that I take your car and I pay you at the end of the month? How will people know? So marketing is key. And actually, if you look at very serious companies, the biggest budget goes with marketing. Because people need to know about you. You need to let people know, this is what I do, this is what I offer, this is what you get from me. But the moment you just start and stay back and then start saying business is bad, just look for big companies I don't want to mention here. Even if we know they are the biggest and they are the biggest service providers, every day you will find them advertising themselves. So if you don't advertise yourself and you're an entrepreneur, you are in the wrong direction or you're heading to the wrong direction. Have a marketing department which will be handling all your marketing matters for you to make it in any business. Linda, were it not for me being vocal, would you have known there is Brightsteps car hire services?
Zero.
You wouldn't have known. If maybe I don't even go to social media, tell people about myself, how will people know about me? So marketing is key in any business, regardless how small it is. Yes.
This how have you, like?
It's okay. Like now I'm saying even the people who sell fruits down there. I see people coming to our offices. I sell fruits, I sell this and this. So tomorrow you call that person, nilete fruits. Because
you don't have
that
to,
person advertise.
The social media platform, just how have you captured this space? First of all, to speak about your businesses and above everything. Because yours, I've realized, is more, speaking of the business, but importantly, empowering the people out there, reminding them that there's hope, reminding them that it's possible for you to set up a business and keep it running.
Actually, if you look at my social media page, Wangechi Warui, that's my own, I do encourage people a lot. Because Linda, I say, if I made it in business, doesn't mean other people are lazy. Doesn't mean they are not doing it right. But just getting that encouragement and telling them, maybe if you did it this way, if you do this, just... it encourages someone. And that's why I say, when you see Wangechi doing well in car hire, do not give up. Say, me, I cannot do anything. How? Walibahatika. Atukubahatika. We don't give up. Maybe if we sat down, tell you the frustrations we go through, the things we go through in a day. Like now I'm speaking to you, there is a car that the DCI went for me. Somebody almost vukad with it to Uganda. It is at the border as we are speaking. Actually, he had gone with it almost to go to Congo. But you see now, my team were on the ground. And you are able to see this person was going to Busia, but this person has gone to Uganda. Why is it? So by the time you call our the DCI office, they call Interpol, the car is stopped. Even as we're speaking, they are going for that car today. So we do go through a lot in businesses. So don't think that it is just coming on a silver platter. You have, do not give up. Believe in yourself and be ready to face all these things. So entrepreneur has its advantages, has its disadvantages, has its ups and downs. But people who do not give up and people who believe in themselves, they make it. Ask anybody who is very big entrepreneur, they will tell you what they go through every day. Waking up early, doing all these things.
Oh, that's amazing. And so, and of course, people would want to ask whether you ever get time for fun and everything. I think the last time you were here, you told us that you do create time for it. It's important.
I do. And I told you, mentor therapy, sorry, it is very, very key. If mentally you are not okay, you cannot run anything.
So you decide to go and see a counselor?
Actually, I go, like today I was to go. but because of this I changed. My day, I usually go on Tuesdays. I go for mental therapy. Not that I'm sick or anything. Just go sit down, pour out your heart, speak everything, do everything. By the time you are coming out there, I told you feel like you've taken a pill to energize you and to make you think bigger.
It's difficult for these power women, and I'll call you, I'll categorize you in that, because you know, you have it running, you're a CEO, everything is all good, you're a powerful, you're a strong personality.
Yes.
It becomes very hard for you to sit down and pour it out, for you to sit down and tell the world that these are my weaknesses. I mean, how have you managed to overcome that to a point where you are?
I will say this and say it again and again. Mental therapy, very, very key.
Yeah.
Very, very key. As you're treating yourself, there are some people who treat themselves weekly. Maybe on Friday, it's my day to go treat myself. Also remember, mental stability, it's very key. Especially you see, you are in business, you have a family, you are wherever. So you find all those things. You have employees, you have everybody, you see. Now, if you think you have got it all, you break down in the process. So number one, have a therapist. Number two, create time for yourself, where you just go sit down, leader, think, fikiria, how am I going to make myself better? Go wind out these things. Because you may have so many millions in your account, but you'll never enjoy it. Because now you're so strict on one line that you are not even, and then also involving God in everything.
Yeah.
Like every time I wake up in the morning before I step down, I have to speak to my God and tell him, God, it's me and you now.
Yeah.
This is another day you've given me. I want it productive. Yani, there's a way you talk with your maker. And then from there, mental therapy nimekwambia ni kitu ya maana sana. And also confidence, self-confidence. Not that, Linda, I'm doing my business, but I'm still no.
But then confidence sometimes is mistaken for what? Arrogance, mistaken for, you know, this is a woman who cannot be tamed. This is a woman who has the money, and therefore no man would literally, you know, manage to tame them and keep them and wife them and all that. And now let's be specific to the ladies. Let's be specific to the girl child. And sometimes this gives you fear to even go out there, you know, gives you fear to go out of your comfort zone, because you think, well, now if I'm over and extremely successful, will I ever get a man who'll be able to look at me and say that this? I mean, even the environment around you, sometimes people will tend to keep off because they think, well, that's a powerhouse. Let's leave it to that.
Let me tell you something. In every powerful, successful woman, there lies a very soft, humble woman inside her. Yeah. But you know, there is this mentality, and I've seen it happen. And Linda, when you become so powerful, so successful, so everything, sometimes people are intimidated. Not that I'm that kind of a person. People becomes intimidated. And you find maybe if you have a spouse who is not ready to hold your hand and support you and work together, this person becomes so insecure to a point that he wants to change the person you are, which is not possible. Because like me, I believe when I was created, or my purpose in life is to change people's life, to serve humanity. How will I be able to do that if I'm not financially stable? I need to work harder. But I know my responsibility. When it comes to this, I'm this Wangechi. When I go to class, I'm a lecturer, I'm lecturing my student. When I go to my office, I'm dealing. When I go to my house, I'm a mother. You see, we are like that. But people who are so much intimidated may not be able to understand you. Yeah. When you're so confident about yourself, like coming here talking about my businesses and everything, people may think you are arrogant. But I'm telling you the bigger percentage, and I can tell you, these powerful, empowered women have a very soft spot in them. And all they need is support. Support them, they will support you back. But I tell women and girl child, do not stop being the person you are because somebody thinks different of you. Yeah. If you're doing things right, if you're not doing that with ill motive, if you're not doing that to feel somebody feel small or feel inadequate, then go ahead and do it. Support and help as many people as you can. People who have lost hope, people who want to do business, they don't know how to. Support them, hold their hands and go ahead. Because this life has got a lot of people who need you not one person.
Okay.
So that's what I always say. Yes.
Let's talk about this girl child who feels like, you know, the space is unfair for women, that business is cut for men, that no woman gets into this and you know, manages it, very few of them. And that is why sometimes when we see them that have done well, that are getting into this space, we celebrate and we speak of them. And I mean, even look at some of the broadcasts that you speak of in the country. Very few women are in these spaces. Very few women are out there to speak about these stories. In most cases, you talk entrepreneurship, you'll be finding that we have 100 against one woman, men and everything. I mean, what will it take to change this girl child for them to understand that the space is cut for everybody?
Actually, if there is a girl child out here watching me, I'm a supporter of both girl child and boy child. But what I've realized about women, for example, when I started this business, the friends I talked to were like, Wangechi, you are mad. You want to enter into car hire business? You know the risk, you know all these things. You won't even last for a year. But let me tell you, I think we are the biggest in town, Brightsteps car hire services. You know why? I believe what a man can do, a woman can do it better. Because as women, we have that thing. We can do even multiple things at the same time. And let nobody tell you, this thing is for men, this one is for women. We already not in that era. I have a daughter, and I always tell her, I will support your ideas, but don't let anybody tell you this one is for men, this one is for women. I think we are past that. Kitambo, kina shosho, they used to tell us that. But right now, Linda, it all requires, I know you have seen a girl child rise. So do not let it, I think zilikuwa zinaitwa itikadi hizo. You cannot do this, you cannot do that. No. Right now, a woman will come start something that people think it is male dominated, and you will do it even better. Why have I survived in car hire business? Because I believed in myself. And even now, Linda, I don't believe there is something that men does that I cannot. I remember there's a time I made that on my on my Facebook account, and somebody brought a joke, telling me, Wangechi, come do this. You know, there are those things. We are not now talking about. We're not talking about strength or whatever. We are talking about how can you manage this as a woman. This time, Linda, we can do anything. And if you are a girl there, you want to, I've seen even girls mechanics who repairs our vehicles even better than men. I'm not saying men are not doing it better, but I'm just trying to tell girl child, do not give up because of what the society think. If you believe, that's why I come back to self-confidence. If you're so confident about yourself and you believe you can do it, nothing can prevent you. It is all up here in your mind.
Wow. Just what is this that is so huge about the Brightsteps car hire? I have done my assignment. I know you run some couple of other, you know, businesses here and there. But you are so passionate about it.
Actually.
What is there? What is in there?
Linda, you should come to our office and find me laughing with my operations manager, laughing with my staff, trying to imagine what happened, what just happened last week. Like now, you give a car, and then because we do a lot of vetting before we give you a car, like this one, I'm telling you, it had gone to Uganda. So I'm telling you, my staff goes to, we vet this person in the office, then they go with that person to see where you work, where you stay. And then a small mistake like this, it's like these people, I don't know. One of my staff, the one who goes and he tells my staff, that's where I work. Just like that, something that has never happened. Okay. And the staff comes back. I know where they work. Oh. Only to find the following day, this person has removed the tracker. So at least it has several trackers. Yes. Only to see Ndoyo Gari. It has now got to Uganda on its way to Congo. Can you imagine? Then instead of getting angry, you sit down and laugh about it. But then you tell this person next time, as in you sit down, where did we go wrong? Why did you do that? Because you also want to know. You've never made this mistake. Why today? You see? So all those risks and whatever, sometimes we sit down and find fun in it. And I think because I was so much involved in it, and it was my first business, I'm so passionate about it.
How long into it?
4 years now.
4 years now.
4 years now.
Also, these digital vehicles did not come in when you are in that space, because I'm told watu wa car hire walifunga wote.
Actually, wanaanza you find imefungwa. But mimi, nimekwambia, it has been a learning process. When I started, I'm not the way I am today.
That's true.
And I told you when I started, I didn't even have staff. I'm the one who was servicing my vehicles and doing all that. So that's why I tell people, I'm a self-made person, starting from the scratch. and fighting all the odds. Going home with matatus and everything because I've given vehicles and everything. I don't have anything. So I know what it makes to be an entrepreneur. If you're passionate about something, do not just give up because of the risks that are involved. It is you sitting back, breathing in and out. You do some press-ups and you're like, I'm in it. I'm not giving up.
Okay.
So about car hire, it is the most risky business, especially in Kenya. But I'm telling you, through God's grace, I've been able to maneuver it and change everything.
Right.
And this car hire, it was founded by a woman and it's running, and we are not stopping anytime soon because God is with us, and we are trying to do things right.
Okay.
Yes.
Amazing. So where do we find you? I mean, Brightsteps, for instance.
Brightsteps car hire services, we are at Paramount Plaza, 3rd floor. If you want to invest with us, if you want to hire a car, we have, just come find us there. We also have another branch at Nakuru, Naivas Super Center. Very soon we are going to Kisumu and Mombasa. We believe God.
Oh, nice.
We are going there. And on social media handles, it's Brightsteps Car Hire Services, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I think we also now have account TikTok. And me, if you want to find me, it is Wangechi Warui. And CPA Wangechi Warui for all tax consultancy issues.
Okay.
I will help you out.
And so I come to Brightstar, I'll get all forms of cars, executive, all. And
Brightsteps, you will get all kind of the vehicles you want. And we also have vehicles we can give you as little as 2,000 per day, 24 hours.
Right.
And we also have vehicles we can give you up to 15,000 a day or 20.
Depending on the car.
Depending on the car.
I mean, I've seen others going to an extent of giving you drivers. Have you gotten to such levels?
Yes, we do give drivers.
Okay.
It is self-drive and chauffeur driven. If you want with a driver, we'll also give you with one.
Okay.
Yes. And the last time I left, you had to bring me a car. What happened?
But you know, interestingly, I should tell you this, that every time I have this in mind, like, you know, I'm just thinking a car and I'm thinking, is it now the online style or is it Brightsteps?
Linda, let me
I've been
tell you,
thinking about it. It's just fear of the unknown, you know.
I've seen you in one and I'm wondering, why don't you bring it work
and
for
then
you?
Jav. And then
when you're going somewhere on weekend, you come higher.
That's true.
Bring it, it will be giving you monthly income and you will be hiring it on need basis. Imagine you bringing a car every morning. I've seen it parked there. You park it in the morning, you go with it in the evening. It's not bringing you any money. You are servicing it, you are insuring it. Don't keep a car. Bring it to us. Come discuss and I will tell you how it will make money for you.
I think that's a challenge that I should accept, my
you
people.
should. I will follow you after
And sometimes, I mean, what's the harm of getting a loan? Sometimes we get scared of getting loans.
Let me clarify that.
Yes.
Sorry for cutting you short. What I tell people, if your payslip can allow you, get a car. Go get a car. The deposit they will only ask for you, it is like 100 or 150. And if you don't have that, I will come in for you. I will help you pay that.
Okay.
Bring a car that I will be paying you maybe 50,000 per month. And this loan, you are paying 30,000. Okay. So this car, you will not touch your salary to pay for your loan. This car will pay for itself, 30,000, and you will be getting something out of it.
This is a sure deal.
A sure bet, a sure deal. And that's why I'm saying it on a national television. And then this 20,000 you remained with, you will do other things, other investment. So from there, when you need a car, maybe for your family and whatever, come higher. It is only 3,000 or maybe if you, depending on the car you want. And you are paying with the money you are getting from the car. So why sit on a pay slip or in a bank statement which can help you get a car for investment? For us, it's a sure bet. And I'm saying it on a national television. If for the years I've run a business, there is somebody I was left with their money, let them come forward and see.
You know, you make the deal sound so sweet. I feel like I would want to march into a bank and get some
when you do it with professionals, it becomes good.
That's true.
But I know there are some people who are not honest. But can I tell you the secret behind our success in Brightsteps? Integrity and honesty.
It's at the heart of everything. We are headed to an election. Exactly. Saying the leadership that we want is full of integrity.
Exactly.
All right, as we come to a close.
Before we come to a close, I forgot to give the number. If you want to reach us for anything, you can call 0710 201 666.
Again?
0710 201 666. Ask any question to do with car hire. If you have any issue with tax matters, that's where you will get us. And parting short, if you want to start a business today, if you are in business, do not give up. If you want somebody to sit down, talk with about business and all these things, I say whatever talent God has given me, I was given so to share it with people. If you're running a business, come, let's sit down. We give financial advisory services, Wangechi Warui and Company. We will go around it and see, is it a business worth investing in, or is it a business you should stop and think of starting another one? That advice, since I'm here and Leader gave me this, and the TV gave me this opportunity, I will give it for free. Come look for me, sit down, I will help you.
There you go.
Let's go around you.
Perhaps you should start with me. Thank you so much, CPA, for speaking to us this morning. Wangechi Warui, right there, the CEO of Brightsteps, car hire services and many other businesses that she does. She says it is possible for you to get into business. The difficulties will be there. She'll not lie to you that it's a smooth sail, but above everything, those ones that put up the fight will definitely sail through. Asante sana for speaking to us. I think it's always good to have these moments of motivation, because you never know, it could be your turning point. And we close this